Okay, on part two of the second presentation, we're going to decide whether or not we've got enough signatures on radar on GR2 to decide if we can subjectively verify our tornado warning or not. All right, 11 after we made the determination, we probably should have that tornado warning out for the Nashville airport area. And now we're going to go ahead and step it forward a little bit and see what we got in the way of verification, if we got anything to use for subjective verification. Now, this tornado report is at 5:32. Once again, I believe that's erroneous. That should be 6:32. So realistically, that doesn't exist yet at this time when we were making our call. So any other history or continuity would be back to the west even further. So there were some reports earlier that should also tend to affect your decision-making process when it comes to thinking about tornado warnings here. So we got our manually verified strong meso and nasty reflectivity signature. Should have made the call at that point and issued a tornado warning. So a couple frames ahead. Now we're about 20 Z, so this is about 21 minutes prior. Let's take a look a little bit further. You see we kind of lose our hook. It's kind of disintegrating. We got something going on there. I think that's still a rear flank downdraft here. But we're still entertaining a pretty significant couplet here. So this is about 17 minutes prior. So we got 62 knots inbound, 104 knots outbound, so over 160 knots. Not quite gate to gate, but we'll take a look and we'll see if we can't drop a marker on there. So that's approximately 2/3 of a nautical mile across. We got 170 knots. Close enough you could probably call that gate to gate shear in this case. Now, ideally, you need two elevation angles to manually verify TVS. It gets kind of noisy. We're in a bad spot here. Over Nashville, we started getting a lot of beam blockage due to the buildings and what have you in the city, and we get some beam filling down here, and our couplet's getting kind of in that noisy area with that mess going on there. So we're kind of in a bad spot when it comes to that. CC, you'll notice, is got a depressed area in here, and that's what we're looking for. CC values less than 80%. However, notice this kind of wedge shape right here. That fits into your inflow notch on reflectivity, and that's not a debris ball. That's debris being sucked into the storm, dust, dirt, bugs, baby Ruth wrappers, you name it, getting pulled in and causing non-meteorological returns in the inflow notch. So where we're looking for, it's going to be more probably out here on the chin of the hook, if we can get that line back up. So somewhere in that range right there. So we're going to be watching for rotation. We're in the ballpark there, though. It's looking pretty close. We got some good shear right in here. All right, so step it ahead a couple more frames. And we're still kind of fragmented on our hook, but I think it's reforming there. So this is 11 minutes prior. And let's mark see if we got a different storm motion to a little bit. Right click and put the storm track on there. That puts it inside of 5. So for sure we're in good shape there as far as having the warning out at that point. So looking once again right in this area for our, not quite there yet on the CC values. The NROT's getting a little bit more excited here. Not quite anything above moderate. It's been nothing but moderate so far. It is below 5,000 feet though. So we'll bump it ahead a couple more volume scans, see what's going on. 6:30, that's still 11 minutes prior. Kind of getting our hook back now. And this is 8 minutes prior. And we've got a debris ball. What we'll do is we'll throw a ZDR up over here, double check it. You should check ZDR less than 1, ideally in the negative range. and it is minus 2.5. You can see we've got a depression there. So like a dimple in the data right there is what we're looking for. And that lines up perfectly with CC as well. So 80% or less than 80% on CC, we're looking at non-meteorological targets. So we got a debris ball, and we could verify that there's a tornado on the ground or has been recently on the ground. Now, this is not too far from the radar. We're only about 10 miles out from the radar, a little farther, and 1,000 feet off the deck. So it doesn't take much to get it lofted into the beam, and that's why we're having a good signature there in this case. So let's go ahead and go forward a couple more frames. This would be where I want to turn that tornado report back on. The only problem is, since it was mismarked, it gets purged at the 1 hour point. So it should have been there at 6:32, but it's 5:32, so we kind of miss it. That's about 2 minutes prior, but you can see, yeah, that's going to be a bad situation there. No debris ball at that point, so this must have been an early touchdown right there. Usually you'll see a debris ball first couple of or a couple of volume scans down range from where the first touchdown is going to be. Got to get time to loft debris into the beam. Storm track. So still looking at that area. We've got definitely a debris ball there in the tail of the hook, and that's where we're looking for it. So we got low ZDR and less than 80% on the CC, so, and pretty nasty hook. Once again, we're in a really noisy area due to all the buildings and skyscrapers and what have you in Nashville. And we can see even on reflectivity, we're getting that ball in there. It's close to, if not over, close to 70 dBZs rather. There we go. 70, over 70 there, 73. And if we place our marker on that, it'll line up with, yep. So we got good verification. Gets within 5, about right there. 41 after, that's when the report is. So we're right on the chin of the hook at that point. And we're looking at about 30 knots outbound, 80 plus knots inbound. So still over 100 knots of gate to gate right in there. And we've got we put our marker back in the debris ball there. Lines up pretty well. We've got debris. So not only a ground report, but we could have manually, or rather subjectively verified this with radar data if there was no storm report at that point. So unfortunately, bad situation for that local area. A lot of damage, a lot of injuries and fatalities. So keep your eyes peeled out here. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe.